to his people. Open your eyes, your ears, your heart, and your mind to receive the message he has for you this day.
A reading from the book of Sirach, chapter 15, verses 15 to 20. If you choose, you can keep the commandments. They will save you. If you trust in God, you too shall live. He has set before you fire and water. To whichever you choose, stretch forth your hand. Before man are life and death, good and evil. Whichever he chooses shall be given him. Immense is the wisdom of the Lord. He is mighty in power and all-seeing. The eyes of God are on those who fear him. He understands man's every deed. No one does he command to act unjustly. To none does he give license to sin. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Blessed are they who follow the Lord. the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, we speak a wisdom to those who are mature, not a wisdom of this age, nor of the rulers of this age who are passing away. Rather, we speak God's wisdom, mysterious, hidden, which God predetermined before the ages for our glory, and which none of the rulers of this age knew. For if they had known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, what eyes has not seen, and ears has not heard, and what has not entered the human heart, what God has prepared for those who love him, this God has revealed to us through the Spirit. For the Spirit scrutinizes everything, even the depth of God. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Father, Lord of heaven and earth, you have revealed to the little ones the mysteries of the kingdom.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to fulfill. Amen, I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or the smallest part of the letter will pass from the law until all things have taken place. Therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever obeys and teaches these commandments will be called greatest in the kingdom of heaven. I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said to your ancestors, you shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with a brother or sister will be liable to judgment. And whoever says to his brother or sister, Raka, will be answerable to the Sanhedrin. And whoever says, you fool, will be liable to fire in Gehenna. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar and there recall that your brother or sister has anything against you, leave your gift there at the altar. Go first, be reconciled with your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Settle with your opponent quickly while on the way to court. Otherwise, your opponent will hand you over to the judge, The judge will hand you over to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Amen. I say to you, you will not be released until you have paid the last penny. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It's better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body thrown into Gehenna. If your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off, throw it away. It's better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body go into Gehenna. It was also said, whoever divorces his wife must give her a bill of divorce. But I say to you, whoever divorces his wife unless the marriage is unlawful causes her to commit adultery. Whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard that it was said to your ancestors, do not take a false oath. Make good to the Lord all that you vow. But I say to you, do not swear at all, not by heaven, for it's God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Do not swear by your head, for you cannot make a single hair white or black. Let your yes mean yes, and your no mean no. Anything more is from the evil one. The gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
It's good to be here this Sunday morning, the sixth Sunday in ordinary time, to gather around the Lord's table with the saints to remember what the Lord has done for us, his overwhelming love for us, the love of the Lord Jesus Christ for each of us as we find ourselves today. A love that took him all the way to the cross. We know it's God's gift to have this day. He woke us up, gave us this opportunity to be able to make our way to church.
Amen.
We're grateful for that
Thank you, Lord.
gift that has been given to us. We're mindful as we gather of saints who may normally assemble with us who are not here this morning, who may be traveling, or maybe one variation or another of the flu has made them low, or perhaps it's just the diminishment that comes along with age that prevents them from being here. We lift them up in prayer and trust that the Lord will restore them to the assembly.
Amen.
According to the Lord's will.
Amen.
Thought we might reflect for just a few minutes on the subject of no service and dropped calls. No service and dropped calls. Yesterday, I was out in western New Jersey with some of our students, and using the term loosely, students, and they were competing in an athletic event. And it was in Warren County, and I noticed some of the adults, parents of the other students from other schools that were there. They were looking at their phones, and I heard one complaining to another, it's difficult to get service here. And on other occasions, I've been in places where calls have been made, and in the middle of the call, the person with whom you're speaking disappears. And then the call has been dropped. And it made me begin to reflect on the fact that we have, for generations now, had difficulties with communication and with telephones especially. Some of us, we won't mention who, but some of us may remember the days when you could pick up the phone, when there was a phone in your house.
Yeah.
You could pick up the phone and you could hear Mrs. Jones speaking on the phone.
All right.
Because you had a party line. And I'm glad somebody remembers that. Young people don't know what we're talking about. You used to be able to listen in to Mrs. Jones' conversations unless your mother caught you and said, put that phone down. Then when you got a little bit of money, you were able to get a private line.
Right.
And you were big in the neighborhood if you had a private line. Because you could pick up the phone and just give the operator your number and that you were desirous of calling, and the call would be placed for you. And then I remember when I was in 5th grade, a magical thing happened, that the telephone company actually came into the school to teach us how we could use a dial on a phone. And you no longer had to deal with the operator who would come on the phone line and say, number, please. But you could do it yourself. You could just dial this phone, and lo and behold, after you were done dialing, the person on the other end that you were wanting to talk to answered the phone. It was amazing to me. I remember where I was sitting in the 5th grade classroom with Sister Josephus, who I was petrified of, with good reason, because she would prowl the neighborhood, and with one of the other sisters in the evenings, nice weather, and you were in dread of the fact that she might tell your parents how you had behaved that day in school. And it wasn't always pleasant. So I remember where I was sitting, and then you had phones that began to become, you needed a suitcase to carry them. But you could hear people walking around saying, hello, hello. The phone didn't work as much as it did work, but it was in the early days of cell phones. And then if you were really able, you could have one mounted in your car. Somebody remembers those. You could have it mounted in your car and you're able to speak to somebody from the car. It was amazing, the advancements, but always difficulty with the advancements. Calls wouldn't go through, or if you picked up the phone in the early days and someone else was on the line, you couldn't make your call. Always difficulties with communication, all the way to yesterday when I heard people talking about it's difficult to get service here. Or you may get somebody, but then the call will get dropped. If you have no service and you're a teenager, you go out of your mind. I've watched students.
You know it.
They don't quite know what to do. I have no service, and they panic. They start running around all over trying to snatch Wi-Fi from somewhere, especially in schools where they scramble the signals and everything intentionally so kids can't make calls. And then they go to great lengths to try to be able to communicate. Using that term loosely, communicate. It's interesting to note that we already now have the ability to actually intend to ignore people. We used to ignore people by mistake. I didn't mean to ignore you, but now we can push buttons that say ignore. You can actually ignore another human being who's desirous of communicating with you. You can ignore them. If someone asked St. Matthew, what were the most important teachings of Jesus? He would have said, well, you ought to pick up my book. And if students will love this because you don't have to read the whole book. You can just read part of it and get the idea of what the author is speaking about. And if Matthew would have said, if you picked up my book and read chapters 5 through 7, you'll understand the essential teaching of Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus, the one who has come to set us free, the one who we begin to recognize as the mystery of God made present among us, the Son of God. And this morning we have a part of that chapter 5 through 7 referred to as as the Sermon on the Mount, where Matthew has Jesus go up on a mountain and be seated and begin to instruct his disciples and the crowd. You remember he began by saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And then he went on and told them that you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world, you are a city set on a hill. And then he comes on this morning in a little bit later to the 17th verse of chapter 5, in the very early part of the Sermon on the Mount, he says to them, "You have heard that it was said, by your ancestors, you shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment." And he further says, "I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven." Now, saints, the scribes and the Pharisees were super observant of the law of Israel, the 613 precepts of the law. And they were able to be so observant, as many of you know, because they had had the opportunity to study the law. Many people, the fishermen and carpenters and the like, didn't have that opportunity to study the law like the scribes and the Pharisees. And the scribes and Pharisees saw themselves as being somehow above everyone else because they knew what the law was and they observed it. They observed it strictly. We see that happening even in the church today and in other religions. These strict observers of the law, outward observance of the law. And Jesus this morning says to you, as he said to the crowd back then in that Sermon on the Mount, he said, "You heard it said by your ancestors, you shall not kill. Whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, no rabbi in Palestine in the time of Jesus would have spoken that way." Jesus is already uniting himself with the mystery of God, and Matthew's telling you and telling me and telling his hearers in his church who Jesus was. But I say to you, Jesus spoke in a way that no one else spoke. That's why the folks said, he speaks with an authority that we've never heard before. Because he speaks as the mystery of God made one of us. But I say to you, whoever is angry with a brother or sister will be liable to judgment. Whoever says to his brother or sister, Raka, will be answerable to the Sanhedrin. Whoever says you fool will be liable to fiery Gehenna. Fiery Gehenna was the south side of the city of Jerusalem in the valley of Gehinnom, where all kinds of orgies and ugly things went on and human sacrifice was practiced. If someone says you fool to a brother or sister, you'll wind up in that kind of a situation, says the Lord. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there recall that your brother or sister has anything against you, leave your gift there at the altar, go first to be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Offering the gifts for the scribes and Pharisees, offering sacrifice at the temple in Jerusalem on the holy days and on the Sabbath was the epitome of observance of the law. Offering that sacrifice, just as we've come this Sunday morning to offer a sacrifice of the body and blood of the Lord, and receive it and to offer it to the mystery of the divine, to God the Father. Because of God's goodness to us, we have come at that moment where we are most Christian, as we come to this place to offer the sacrifice, where the Lord allows himself to be offered again for you and for me. And it's at that moment when we're offering the sacrifice. I don't know if you notice it, it's easy to misunderstand it. Jesus says, if you get to the point of offering the sacrifice, and you realize that your brother or sister has something against you, you go to them. Oh, no.
Come on now.
You want me to go to her after what she has done? That's what he says. That you have heard it said that you shall not kill. Whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with a brother or sister, somebody in church this morning been angry with somebody for 30 years. And if you angry long enough, it becomes part of who we are in church. And you actually enjoy being angry. And we create reasons why we should be angry. We legitimize our anger, we legitimize our jealousies, we legitimize our envies so that we can hang on to them. And if we hang on to them long enough, we become afraid that if we let go, we won't know who we are. We won't know how to act. I've been acting this way for so long, I've gotten good at it. We can get good at being jealous. We can get good at being envious. We can get good at being angry at somebody. And the Lord said, you have heard it said that you shall not kill, but I say to you, if you just get angry with someone, you won't get into the kingdom of heaven. And if you realize whether you're offering your sacrifice, somebody sitting in church this morning about to offer the sacrifice knows what I'm talking about. Because somebody's sitting there jealous, somebody's sitting here envious, or somebody may be angry over something that happened years ago, or maybe something that just happened yesterday. The Lord says if you realize that somebody has something against you, you go to them and be reconciled with your brother or sister. That's why before we receive the body and blood of the Lord, we exchange reconciliation with someone. We go to one and offer them the sign of peace, no matter what it is that they may have done to you or to me. To offer them the sign of peace. It's quiet in church this Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So you may not like what I'm saying, but it's the truth.
All right.
And Jesus goes on over and over, and he said, you have heard it said, this is the law, this is the observance, but I say to you. And Jesus is attempting to get the church to expand their heart. To be able to learn how to love the other no matter how the love the other is. To be able to love the other in the dimension of the cross of the Lord Jesus Christ. To be able to die for the sake of the other. To accept difficulties, to accept hate, to absorb it for the sake of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what the Lord said. You have heard it said, but I say to you. Expanding the heart, St. Paul says in that letter to the Corinthians today that the Spirit plumbs the depth of the mystery of God. The same Spirit that we have been confirmed in and who resides in our heart. We may be observers of the law, but the question is, are we able to have an expanded heart that we can be lovers of the other, acceptors of the other the way the other is, no matter whether they're a friend or an enemy? Are we able to love the other in the dimension of the cross of the Lord Jesus Christ? Jesus is desirous of speaking to your heart. The problem is that frequently when the Lord desires to speak, there's no service. Anger takes over our heart and there's no service. Or you may come on Sunday morning, but by Monday afternoon the call got dropped. The Lord is always desirous of communicating with you and with me. Jesus is always on the main line. We get ourselves so caught up in other things and our heart begins to shrivel up and shrink, and we become more concerned about the observance of the law than the law transforming our heart. And what the Lord says, I tell you, if you even get angry with your brother, you've got a difficulty on your hands, you won't make it into the kingdom of heaven. The service on the Lord's part is always there. Problem is that we get ourselves in spots, just like I was in yesterday. where there's no service. Somebody in church this morning knows what I'm talking about. You may have found out that you haven't had any service recently, or maybe you haven't had any service for months or for years. Come to church every day and observe the law like the Pharisees, but there's no service and no communication through the Holy Spirit that wants to live in your heart. Jesus said, if you but love me, the Father and I will come and take up residence in you, live in your heart. But is there enough room in your heart for the Lord to move on in? Or is there other things taking up all the space in your heart that Jesus can't find a way to squeeze in? And then you find when you want to talk to him, you've got no service on your phone and can't make a contact. And the Lord is always calling you up. He's always on the main line waiting for you. We used to sing in the church, Jesus on the main line, call him up right now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until next week. You always got service when it comes to the Lord Jesus Christ. The problem is the calls get dropped on your phone, in your heart, and you get no service because it's a problem in your heart. There's always service coming from the Lord. Hey, you have a problem with service on your phone, you may need to get to another provider. And the provider that can communicate is the Holy Ghost. If you let him move into your heart, if you haven't had the Holy Ghost, haven't given him room in your heart this Sunday morning, gives you one more opportunity to get service from the Holy Spirit. Drop the other services that you have, all the other providers, and rely on the provider that always has a connection. That Jesus, through the Spirit, is always desirous of talking to you. You have heard it said, but I say to you, listen to the voice of the Lord speaking to you this Sunday morning.
All right now.
If you haven't had service recently,
Well.
this opportunity is provided for you.
Come on.
The Lord is inviting you to take up service provided by the Holy Spirit. No matter where you are, you can speak to the Lord. Doesn't matter, you can be in a hospital room and there's still service. You can be in the midst of difficulties and trials and tribulations and there's still service. You may be suffering a terminal illness and there's still service. May not remember what you used to remember the way you used to remember. But there's still service. May not be able to get where you used to get as fast as you used to get there, but there's still service. You may not be able to see what you used to see or where you used to see it, but there's still service. I'm grateful this Sunday morning for the word of the Lord presented to us, and at this moment as we begin to offer sacrifice, we're especially mindful that if there's anybody that has anything against you, you ought to go to them. If you didn't do it yesterday, don't worry about that. The Lord's already forgiven it, but don't wait until tomorrow.
All right.
If you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you've heard it said that you shall not kill. Whoever kills will be liable to judgment, but I say to you, whoever is angry with a brother or sister will be liable to judgment. Whoever says to his brother or sister, Rocker, will be answerable to the Sanhedrin, and whoever says you fool will be liable to fire again. And don't wait till tomorrow. Take the opportunity that the Lord presents to you today. He's always on the main line of the church saying, amen. Jesus is our main line.
Yes, sir.
Believing that the Lord's offering on the cross,
Yes.
His acceptance of you and me as we find ourselves today. It's only believing that is only possible in faith. That the church stand and profess her faith in Emmanuel, God who is not sometimes, not once in a while, but always with us.
Thank you.
I believe
In one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all things visible and invisible. I believe in one Lord Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God, born of the Father before all ages, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten and not made, consubstantial with the Father. Through him all things were made. For us men and for our salvation, he came down from heaven, and by the Holy Spirit was incarnate of the Virgin Mary, and became man. For our sake he was crucified under Pontius Pilate. He suffered death and was buried, and rose again on the third day in accordance with the Scriptures. He ascended into heaven, and is seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again in glory to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father and the Son, who with the Father and the Son is adored and glorified, who has spoken through the prophets. I believe in one holy Catholic Apostolic Church. I confess one baptism for the forgiveness of the sins. I look forward to the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen.
we come this morning not simply as observers of the law, but of lovers of one another. Church comes again confident that the Lord Jesus Christ, present among us and present within us, and is still on the main line, able to be called up at any moment of any day. The saints assembled this Sunday morning in this sacred place. Call up the Lord with our desires, our longings, our hopes, our prayers, trusting that the Lord will be true to his promise. Anything we ask the Father, in his name the Father will grant.
Our response, merciful Lord, hear our prayer.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
For the church, that the Lord will continue to bless her mission to spread the gospel, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
For Pope Francis, his fellow bishop, all priests, deacon, and religious, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
For all church leaders everywhere during this week of prayer for Christian unity, that they will work together and promote unity among Christians, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
For all living and deceased members of the Holy Name Society, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
For Dominic, Dean, and June, as they continue their faith journey to become one with us at Easter Vigil through baptism, Eucharist, confirmation, and full communion, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
For our country, all countries of the world, and their leaders, that they will look to God for wisdom in how to govern and work together for peace and the good of their people, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
For the sick, shut in, and homebound of our parish, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
Eternal rest for the faithful departed, we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
We present our personal petition in silence. we pray to the Lord.
Merciful Lord, hear our prayers.
O Lord, our Lord, through the power of your Spirit, that plumbs the depths of God and the depths of our heart, that prays when we're unable to pray. Hear these prayers that have been lifted up before you by your saints assembled in worship. Grant them in your time, grant them as only you can and as you know best. Grant us continued courage and patience, that we may trust in you, we ask this, through Christ our Lord. Amen.